The Suzuka International Racecourse, a 3.609-mile circuit, the only figure of eight on the Formula One calendar, plays host to tonight's WOR event. Welcome to a circuit and a country that is so passionate about motorsport. It's a driver's favourite. Many people, as fans, are starting to dislike this place, but the true passionate drivers and media alike love it for one very good reason. You make a mistake here at Suzuka, it's old school. It bites. Welcome to the most unpredictable race of the season. And it's coming to you on a weekend where we really could have a championship that all goes up in the air. We've already got our champion lined up, but there's more to play for further down the field. So we're not just playing for fun here as well. And that is why we take a look at the circuit to introduce as well alongside fellow WR commentator Omi. And this circuit is going to bite tonight, mate, isn't it?
Absolutely. What a venue in your picture as well. We've got 18 fantastic turns for the drivers to navigate such a huge challenge around a circuit that runs to 5.8 kilometers and 3.6 miles. Of course, you've got the DRS zone down towards turn number one, the one and only DRS zone you've got to try and make some overtakes around this Suzuka circuit. But we have seen here in the league racing world, drivers go for some moves at some other places around this venue. You could expect it into the Casio Triangle and possibly some dive bombs as well at the hairpin later on down the lap. It is one of those circuits where the drivers have to get a bit more risky with their overtakes due to how challenging it is.
It's a beautiful place to race on as well, but it's only one step as the calendar is about to come to a close because next week we are in Abu Dhabi for the season finale. Across 10 races this year, which has already given us so much drama and interest. It started all the way back in Australia, Spain, Belgium, United States, that crazy event in Monaco, followed then by Azerbaijan, Great Britain, Silverstone, Emilia Romagna just a week ago here in Japan, and Abu Dhabi will round out. And across that calendar, I mean, we've already got a champion lined up, and it's all getting a bit tasty further back.
It absolutely is. We've got a fantastic championship that we have had across this season, but a champion that is crowned, as you've mentioned, and his name, as you can see, first place, Gobadi, has got a 56-point advantage, ludicrous gaps when it comes to league racing at this elite level. Carlos Galindo finds himself in second place, 56 points as well, and Galindo, a driver who's been contending for pole position, he'll be trying to get his first this season later on. Ollie Knott finds himself in third, and then it is Laminin who's in fourth position. We have Trisk in fifth, and then it is Guyot who has joined us after coming from console. He finds himself in sixth, and then it is Buba who has been banned from the tier, so don't expect to see him for the remainder of the campaign. And then it is Carrero, Engel, and then we also have Dot who is in 10th position as well. So it is a fantastic calendar, and as we've already mentioned, up here in the commentary boxes you can now see on screen, it is Omi alongside JB's. You guys get to see us in vision as well. And yes, JB, interesting championship standings, champion crown, but still a lot to play for lower down the field. And I mean, it is an opportunity to impress before we head into season 22.
Absolutely it is, and in a track like Suzuka, if you can get your strategy right, your qualifying laps right, and your racing fair and clean around such a tricky circuit, this is sort of one that you will take a look at to see if you get promoted up the tier, or even in the worst case situations down a tier as well. But we're in for an exciting evening as qualifying is about to get underway shortly as well, with all the drivers readying up. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this session is going to be like, Omi, as well. First of all, I want to know if it's dry, then we've got a flat-out run for 18 minutes. If it's wet, we're going to see quite a lot of interesting run. So we're about to get in, Omi, and I'm very excited. The session is green and we're underway, and it's dry, which is the best news. They can all head out there on the soft compound tyres, get some decent laps in, and also this qualifying acts as a sort of practice as well, doesn't it? We just make sure everything's right with the setup, you're all happy with it, and then it's go for the rest of it.
Absolutely. As we take a look at live pictures out there around our venue at the moment, the cars circulating round for what will be their out lap, and then they'll be getting ready for their banker lap, their first push. The first push, very important around a circuit like this because there is so much room for improvement. And for these drivers, you've exactly got to go for said room of improvement as well, because there is a lot of time to find around this circuit. The circuit will be moving forward anyway. So these lap times that you can get initially, so important to build upon, and it can really aid the drivers in going quicker and quicker and quicker come the final stages later on. 18 minutes on the clock, as we mentioned. We're already ticking down. In our picture right now is Aleski Cavero. I've been able to watch him and commentate on him in the past. A very quick and rapid driver, and he has had the scenario which our champion has had this season, where he has dominated in other competitions in the past in a similar way. So he is a very talented driver, and it is great to see him fighting it out at this level. So looking forward to seeing what he can do. JB, we're riding on board and heading down to turn 1.
Yep, flat out first part of turn 1 as well, the first curve. First time you touch the brake, down 2 gears to 4th into turn 2. Then you begin the S's section as well. Jensen Button wants to describe this as you can only get it right once in a weekend as well. It's super complicated. Right, left again. And then you're rising up to the top of the Dunlop curve, just blind over the crest. And then into Degner 1 and 2. Literally, fling the car into Degner 1, hope it sticks and you don't go off the track. Down the brakes, slightly banked at Degner 2, and then rise up 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear, slam the brake down all the way into 2nd gear, lung the car in uphill. Again, another blind exit through at the hairpin. And now down as you come through the 200R towards Spoon Curve, a long sweeping double apex left-hander, and then you rise past the National Straight. This is where all the go-karting track happens as well, and if you want a track day experience. But just listen as they come through 130R, it's a flat-out kink. 8th gear maximum as you come down to the Casio Triangle, all the way into this legendary corner which has seen battles and championship deciding moments over the years. Over the line then as well for Cavero. Is it a good banker? It's a 126.136. Compare that to what we see in esports. It's a good representative banker. Janssen as well goes over the 126.045, and Van Winston 126.603. As we look at Laminen now at the top with Carlos, as yellow flag was out briefly as we had cars just coming back into the pit lane from the earlier run. But better run there, Omi, as they come in. But we now come across as we see Rev starting a lap, and Lumi, who's on now into the second part of Degner.
Absolutely, Lumi, a driver who was dominating the F5 tier earlier on this season, so he's been promoted and he now finds himself racing in tier 3. So he is looking to try be competitive and basically be up against drivers his pace, which is why that move was made, just to ensure that he absolutely doesn't wipe the floor with the field in that F5 tier. So Lumi on the outlap, about to start a flying lap around this circuit as well, but it is Rosen, and then we find ourselves with Janssen. They are 1 and 2 at the moment. Cavero, we watched his lap time, he finds himself in 3rd. Our champion in 4th, and then it is Lucas Serra in P5. That's your top 5 at the moment. We're heading into Degner 1 there with White, and then we get to Degner 2, and then we're about to go to the hairpin. This is one of the parts of the circuit where in esports, due to the limited opportunities to overtake, clear overtaking opportunities, you have to sometimes maybe go for a dive bomb into that part of the circuit, and we maybe sometimes get to see some drag races out of here all the way down to Spoon Curve.
That's the Kobayashi approach from all those years ago. Just send it up the inside and hope for the best. But it's been giving us some beautiful overtakes over the years in esports. I remember covering a race back here about 5-6 years ago when I first started in esports, Omi, and everybody was doing that dive bomb maneuver at the hairpin, and I couldn't catch my breath. It was every 5 seconds somebody was throwing up there. Rev's gone into 10th position as we see Tomasetto into the pit lane. Here's White coming through the Casio Triangle. 30th at the moment, but good sectors backed out of the lap time. Oh, hang on, third sector's 137. He's got off the circuit somewhere coming through. As we take a look back to Lumi, second sector 32. Not too bad as they come down in towards Spoon Curve. Flick the car in again, as I say. Easy to invalidate lap times at this circuit, Omi, which is a surprise considering that Suzuka is a track where it's got natural runoffs quite a lot of the time, but esport drivers still find a way that you go too far off. Lap time gone.
Absolutely. Lumi there you would have seen tucking right into the slipstream of the Aston Martin. I mean, not worth a lot on this game, the slipstream, unfortunately, but every single thousandth counts in esports, and you could see, even though we were heading to 130R, that he was absolutely trying to gain all the time in the world. Unfortunately, the time gained wasn't enough to get himself ahead into the top 10. He finds himself in 11th at the moment, 8.5 tenths off the pace, so he's going to have a lot of time to find. Inside that top 10, though, Rev was able to find his lap time in the kicks hour, so decent stuff from him, but I'm sure he'll want to try and contend for those higher positions. It is a qualifying session where a lot of the drivers possibly could have had errors on this opening lap, so it's all about building upon it, and that's exactly what Lucas Serra is setting himself to do, because he's back out there on the circuit on an out lap, new set of tyres on the car, and with 11 minutes to go, he's going to look to try and turn a just over 3-tenth deficit to going ahead of our current pole sitter, Jensen Rosen.
Yeah, and look at Rosen's time along with Jansen as well. Just 74 thousandths of a second differential between the two. So it's a 125.970, the top time. Then we get a 126.045. But only our second that, we've got the top 11, that's at representative times, all within a second of each other, which is fantastic. You see Lumi's just within 8.5 tenths. Our producer doing a stunning job changing the graphics for us quite quickly. But yeah, this is amazing for this early stage of qualifying. I'm really interested to see if within the next 6 or 7 minutes or so, we'll see this close into maybe 3, maybe 2 tenths of a second. Not out of the realms of possibility.
Absolutely. We have seen some close qualifying sessions across WOR Tier 3 this season. In terms of your polls so far this season, if you haven't been able to join us, Gobadi has had 4. Of course, he has, our champion. He's always been able to get himself near the front. Booba has also been able to get himself in there. Of course, he won't be able to extend that, unfortunately, due to his ban. Elias and Oliver Knott have also found themselves with a singular pole position. Okay, Lucas Serra then about to begin a flying lap. An out lap turns into a push lap, P6, as he tries to and improve that now from a P6 to a higher position. Pole position is exactly where he'll want to go.
Car was drifting out, coming through 1. Got a car on the inside line coming through the S's. Bit too much curb on entry, just touching them, and it's just miniature time you lose during these parts. You don't want to get caught out that early, but he's got it up now through Degner in. Now, 1, flick the car in. Yep, he's 3 thousandths off the top time. Lot of curb at Degner 2. Rides the exit curb. Grass getting caught on the tyres. And, not the fastest line. Oops! And look, the rear as well. And he's invalidated the lap time. Well, I'd love to see if we've got a replay on that one, actually, as well, to see how that all happened as it came through. Because I think, Omi, that was just... I think the car spooked on entry into the S's. They just lost the lap time throughout, because you need complete concentration through that. Let's take a look at it, Amy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to send it in such a high-speed part of the circuit, getting ready to stand on the power, and then it is just going to be him now finding himself heading into Degner 1. Such a tight part of the circuit, trying to always extract the most, and in this situation, extracting too much, and saying goodbye to that lap time at that moment. So we now go back to live pictures, and here is our driver currently, who is quickest of all, and he is going to look to try and maintain the advantage. As you can see on our leaderboard, he is 74 thousandths of a second clear. So Rosen, let's see what he's going to be able to do in that Aston Martin car, as he's about to head into the 130R, down by 0.2 of a second, so not the ideal lap time. And definitely not a lap time that he'll be finding an improvement on, but luckily he's got about 7 minutes and 30 seconds to try and change that. Timon is beginning a lap as he's about to make his way towards turn 1 as well. So quite a few flying laps now beginning to take place out there on this circuit.
Well, nicely done, downshifting to 4th gear mid-corner. It's allowing the engine braking, so you don't actually have to touch the pedal to keep the momentum going through the S's section. Now down to 5th gear, hugs that inside line, and over the line as we see Jansen go top with a 125.962. Brilliant lap time. He's 8 thousandths of a second ahead of Jensen. White's got into 3rd as we now see Tomasetto over the line, and it's still 14th fastest. It's 14 seconds lap down, and it's invalidated on the board as well, but he's picking up with a double push lap immediately as the car's just heading through the SS section. Here's Tumas Lamin and then over with 2/10 up at the moment. 8th fastest time. Should moving up inside the top 3. No, only goes 5th, 1:26.208 as the rest of the field continue to go through. And I think I just saw Ave got to 7th place in the Ferrari as well, as we ride back now with Jensen Rosen coming down through the spoon curve, aiming towards the 130R. And Van Winsen now is up as well by 2.5 tenths.
Absolutely, finding the improvement as he stands on the power now. Let's see where he's going to be able to go. P9 at the moment, 6.5 tenths off the pace. He'll come across the line, he'll be P8, and he's going to close down the deficit. I mean, it was a major improvement, but he needed that improvement realistically because he found himself originally down by quite a bit. As we also look at Thomas Seto, as he is off the road just now currently, as he has a bit of a cool down lap.
I think they're all starting that now, sadly, as we see Tristan. I hope with the time remaining, it's a double cool. No, coming into the pit lane, which is sensible. You can see a lot in the race as well. Don't want to get too lost out here. Lucas Serra, though, is going to do an outlap and will start. It's a wider exit as you head down towards turn number 1. Now, just watch at the amount of speed you have to take into the first curve. Throw the car in to keep in, and it's looking good as they attack back through for the first time into the S's.
Looking good indeed. Now, can he keep it together, though, throughout the rest of the lap? We've mentioned the Degners. That is where we have had lap times go and fade away from the drivers after all of the hard work of pushing on through this opening sector. You're about to get a delta to see whether you're down, to see whether you're up. You're up in Lucas Serra's case by nearly 1/10 of a second. Now he's about to throw it down to the hairpin, and he's going to hope to try and keep this lap going. And of course, the sector 2, where he's going to look to try build upon what he has already managed, as he's about to make his way down towards Spoon Curve, and then it will be the back straight 130R, and then the final few corners. And if you can keep the lap time in, he's got a good opportunity. He's gone different to the rest of the field in terms of when he is pushing on, as we have a lot of drivers in the pit lane. He's out there, though, on the attack and setting a lap time when the track is quiet. Sector 2 sees him up by 1/10 as well. Just over that, one more chicane to go to see where this lap time takes him.
Down into the Casio triangle. Perfectly Apex 1. Perfect Apex 2. Down to the line we go. And he's boxed. That's a shame.
Yeah, he's come into the pit lane in that instance. He knows he can do better. And I think that's a good idea, as Lumi will do the same, because you need to get in the pit lane, change tyres, and be out there when everyone else is pushing on as well. So we were mentioning, yes, it was good. Yes, it was decent. Yes, it was going to improve him. But you want to be out there when the circuit is at its best. So that's why these drivers who were pushing on and were previewing us to a fast lap time won't be coming across the line. You see the same from Niall Guyot as well. I've mentioned he's a driver who's come from console. He was racing in WOR Tier 1 when it came to console. And he's also, of course, been racing elsewhere as well, with a lot of experience, as we bring you up here to the com box for a few minutes. So, JB, I think we've seen an interesting first part of the session. Now looking forward to seeing what the final runs will bring.
Yeah, final runs coming up, and I am more confident now we're going to see those lap times fall to, I would say we're going to see 125.4s. That's an option for me to come into it, but I'm disappointed that they haven't taken the maximum approach on me, that they wanted to get clean running like no one else around them, because we saw how easy it is to get distracted by the cars just dawdling on such a narrow circuit. It's very tricky to overtake here, as we've been saying throughout the broadcast. So what do you think we're going to be seeing going into the lap 1 of the race? Because they've got to keep their nose clean, and it's grid positioning that's key for this, because if you're in the mid-pack, you're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. You are in really big trouble as well. So you've got to be cautious, and you've got to be careful with the way that you approach this. It is time to now take you back to live pictures, and the reason why is because we've got cars out there back on the circuit for the business end, for the important end of this session as well, as we see Timon in our picture currently make his way through. He had a DNF to start the season. He's had a best result of P6. A good qualifying could aid him, JB, in improving that, in beating that personal best that he's had so far this season. And we've only got 14 drivers, so I mean, there's an extra and a higher chance of personal best coming for any of the drivers in the field.
Yep, this is a golden opportunity to show what you can do in an esport car. And I think as well, Van Eensen is now coming over to start the lap time down to turn one. What can he deliver? 8th fastest at the moment, slap bang in the middle of the field. Oh, uses the engine braking again, smooth the line through turn 1 and 2. A little bit wide at the exit and loses the lap time.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Goes quite early. Here is Carlos Galindo, who was contesting for a pole earlier on in the season, but he doesn't have one to his name, unfortunately. He got beaten right at the end. So he got beaten by Oliver Knott. It was a great qualifying session that took place at Imola, it was. It looked like for a second it was Galindo, and then Knott came in with a superb lap to take it away from him. So that tells you how close, how competitive the qualifying sessions have been. And that is going to be out wide as he continues on.
But keeps the lap time as he comes into the hairpin. Very wide line. Of course, if you invalidate your lap time now, your qualifying is done. You're not going to be able to get round in time, as we now see Van Winsen getting out of the way, down in towards Spoon. Flick the car in. Hopefully it all sticks down. You don't want to lose out any second. Just the smallest of losses here, Omi, are going to put you down. But I've got a feeling here, as everyone now will get a lap time in, it's go time. And the first one over the line will, I think, as well, the Ferrari's going to get another lap time in the board. Yes, checker flag's out now. Carlos the first to meet it. Out of the last corner as well, down the hill. 6th fast in the moment for Carlos. Can he improve over the line? No. Next up for Thomas Sato, Omi, and I don't think we're going to see that much of a change, neither.
P5, he was able to find a bit of an improvement, but as you mentioned, nothing to disrupt the front, which Carrero can do. By 12 thousandths, he's now taken pole position, but the issue he's got is that Rosen is going quite quickly. Through the triangle chicane we go. The Aston Martin driver, who was on provisional pole earlier on, now is going to try and find the time at the important part of the session. Over the line for Rosen. Oh, he's missed out. He didn't improve by 27 thousandths of a second.
But now let's take a look at White as well. He's down by the opposite amount as well as they come out of the last corner. The top four separated by 74 thousandths of a second. White makes it just over a tenth, not improving. Let's have a look then at Ave coming through, up by a tenth and a half. Can the Ferrari put it through over the line? Fourth at the moment. Yes, he can! 125.852. What about now? No, not going to improve down the order, but Ferrari have provisional pole position.
Absolutely Laminin in 6th. Here's the final driver to try to take pole away. Oh, he's missed out. Couldn't do it at the end. That was Janssen and Lucas Serra. Well, I said he could have been the final driver, Janssen. But to be fair, that was a good improvement for Serra, and that won't be the case for Christian as he comes across the line. But yeah, he spun it as he made his way over the line. But wow, that was a great lap coming in, I have to say, from Janssen to 3rd position at the end. Of course, he couldn't take pole position. That is heading to our champion driver of the season. A 6th pole for him. Superb stuff all the way through. And now he'll be leading the field away for the Japanese Grand Prix.
So it's Ave Gobadi pole. Then we get Kavar in 2nd, Janssen 3rd, Rosen in 4th. But the gap literally, I mean, for one moment was, 4 drivers inside of 10th? Look at the gap. Only 1 driver inside of 10th. That is amazing from Ave. A champion deserving of a pole at a legendary circuit.
Absolutely. Legendary circuit, legendary driver, and the fastest time, a 1 minute 25.852. What a brilliant qualifying session that was. And as we bring you up back to the commentary box, wow, we need to take a bit of a deep breath after that one. We've got a race coming up. That was just qualifying, and that was absolutely extraordinary in the balance all the way till the end.
Fantastic qualifying, fantastic grid lined up as well to come into it with Avon pole position down towards turn 1. Now, it'll have the inside line, so can afford to just open up the wheel and block the inside line. Shouldn't be too much coming into it. We're being told it's going to be a quick start to get in. So, Omi, just very quickly, what do you think is going to happen in terms of turn 1? Are we all going to get through cleanly?
I think we will get through turn one cleanly, but I think the chaos could come a little bit more later down in the lap. So it's going to be interesting to see, and I think it's going to be quite a competitive battle that will be taking place. So looking forward to seeing how it is all going to play out. All I'm going to say is good luck calling that race start, because it's going to be absolutely wild. I think I can pretty much say that much.
Yeah, thank you for that. I hope I don't trip over and there's not a massive accident. Otherwise, that would trigger a lobby restart there. So that's not too bad if we do have a massive pile up after turn one. But let's hope it's the same weather conditions, because I mean, the last thing we want to do is go into a wet race after just having a dry qualifying, drivers having absolutely no practice as to what it's going to feel like underfoot, and trying to get the slipstream in towards turn one would be absolutely chaotic. But who's your pick a winner? I'm sticking with Ave. Our champ looks good.
He looks good, but I think there could be a lot of drivers who are able to contend with it. I think Carlos Galindo, I think he could make a bit of a comeback. Second place in the championship, so he's got a chance. He's been second best to go about it across the season, so who knows? He could spring out a bit of a great performance by the end of today's contest.
Yep, of course. Aves won 3 times this season in Belgium, Monaco, just 2 weeks ago at Silverstone. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5, pause. Action at Suzuka. Good start from Ave, but Kavara's going to go with him down to turn one again. Beyond the outside line means you can just slipstream down towards the first corner. Alpine's making battle for the back. That's now having to go a little bit wide. Lumi's been forced off the circuit too. There's massive drama further back with, that's the white going round in the Sauber. There's an Alpine cutting over the curb at turn two coming from now again. And I think Thomas Sato's moved on to 8th position. Omi, terrible start in the back of the pack, just as we predicted.
Niall Guyot with big issues along with White at that race start. No such thing for our leader, our champion, Gobadi leading the way as Carrero in second place at the moment. Then it is Rosen in P3, and then we find ourselves with Sarah and Laminin completing our top 5. What a crazy start to the race that was. Who's feeling brave into the hairpin? Anyone thinking about some moves? Not at the moment, so they will continue to navigate their way through on our opening tour. I think we're going side by side further back. Ferrari versus Mercedes, and Christian staying ahead of Timon van Vensen, who is trying to make the move as we throw it down into the spoon curve, and now we're about to head down to 130R.
Tristan Janssen as well got caught up in that melee. He's down to 12th position. Now look at Carlos as well in the Aston Martin on the inside line. And Lumi down to the 130R, gets that move done before we turn in. But it's all looking a bit messy as Lumi's going to try and come back at the Casio triangle, but round the outside, Thomas Sato trying to go for a move. I think that was Rev cutting over the curb there at the triangle section, but Thomas Sato's got back ahead. Lumi's down to 8th position. Rev's right behind. Tristian's side by side as well, further back with Christian Ere, but I think everyone just making it stick. No, that was the Ferrari of Christian getting forced out wide. Tristian barging his way through at turn one. Absolutely muscle banging. Brilliant stuff.
Feisty, aggressive opening tour completed. We're on to lap number 2 then, and that has been quite dramatic. I think one of our more aggressive opening laps as well. But we find ourselves with the field making their way through after what was a crazy start, which is what we're going to show you right now as the 5 lights went out and Gobadi just got the getaway that he wanted. Didn't allow Kaveri to go for any move at all, and he had the advantage down into the first turn, and turn number 2 where you properly broke. But the chaos, JB, was happening all further back.
Yeah, so round goes Tristian, drops down the order. White's already spun round, and then literally, unfortunately for now, just gets clipped as the cars de-ghost, come back into solid feature, and then it's bang straight away. So an unfortunate start there, but look at this from Alexei Kovarov just holding onto the back of Ave down through the 130R. I mean, they are not going to stop this at all as DRS now enabled, and everybody knows it, and you only get one attack down towards turn number 1.
Absolutely. Oh, that's close. As we make our way through, that is Janssen just staying ahead at the moment of Timon van Vansen at the moment as Christian comes into the pit lane. Meanwhile, we're getting a change. That's Lumi who's moving up past Rev. Christian, by the way, is retired in the pit lane. He's out of the contest and will play no further part as we enter lap number 3 further up the road. Thomas Sato is trying to put some pressure on Galindo. There's so many different battles that are already starting to develop as the drivers get settled in. The top 4 have a gap, 2.4 seconds to Thomas Laminin. He's the driver running in P5.
And here's Carlos running directly behind him in 6th position, holding off with Tomasetto as they come through Degna 2, rising up towards the hairpin as well. Are we going to see it? They've naturally named the hairpin finally. It's the Nissan brake hairpin. Throw it uphill dramatically, and then you come through the 200R, turn 12, 5th gear corner, rising up speed to turns 13 and 14, 6th gear, down to 3rd gear at Spoon Curve. This is where we rejoin Gobadi with Carraro as our 1 and 2, and Jensen Rosen just behind. In fact, even Lucas Sera in 4th position, not letting the champion get away just much. And already, look at this, on the back straight towards 130R, Abe's having to try and stop the toe to Alexei trying to come into the position that he needs to get the DRS, and he's going super deep into the triangle, but a little bit of a rear snap there from Alexei. Now he's going to be vulnerable to Jensen.
Absolutely, over the line we go, and it is going to be the field currently just getting settled into things. Definitely the case if you are the top 2 further back. Any overtaking opportunity is being taken. We're on board right now with the McLaren man of Tomasetto, who is just trying to stay within the 1 second. Not, of course, easy to make the move when Carlos has DRS himself of Laminin. So a bit of a DRS train beginning to develop, which is why sometimes you may need to then experiment with a move down at a different part of the circuit. At this phase, though, you're not really thinking as much about that, because you know you only really go for those type of do-or-die moves when the final stages come around. You don't want to risk losing the front wing or having contact, which lots found out on our opening tour of the race.
Absolutely, and oi! Big snap from Tristan Janssen just behind, coming out of Degna 2. The rear snapping like crazy, to taking too much exit curve. Oh, it just basically wants to punch you around ASAP. Through we go again then, and holding it on. The Gyrus Championship may be decided, but we have battles and a half brewing at the wonderful Suzuka circuit. Down once more to the 130R. Look how close as well Jensen's getting to the back of Alexei. I've got a feeling in the next 2-3 laps, these lot are going to be on top of each other. Here's a replay of that moment. Just a big snap Omi coming out of the last row. So easy to do.
Absolutely, so easy to do as well. And lots of drivers you'll be seeing that from later on. Over the line, another lap we tick on to now, and it is another story of Carrero being car lengths away but not being able to shape for any form of an overtake at the moment. Does that apply to all the drivers? Very close for White, who is up against Niall Guyot as well. A very talented driver, as we already described to you across today's broadcast. And he is looking to just right now keep things going after what was a tricky qualifying session. It's what the drivers now need to do. Reset after a tricky qualifying and focus on the job at hand. We've, as I mentioned, only got 14 drivers, which has become 13 now with the retirement for Christian. So there's plenty of opportunities of getting a decent result by the end of today.
Carlos holding off for Thomas. Oh, hello.
Off in the background. Timon Van Vensen went straight off into the wall. He went straight in the background, and he's going to rejoin. Lucky to still even be in the race. What happened there?
Damage to the front wing a little bit, lost an end plate, but my goodness me, just flew off the circuit, didn't he? Having so quickly, I didn't see it. I'm sure we'll see a quick replay of that in a few moments. But, Van Winsen just... such a disappointing day for him, isn't it? It's promised so much, and now he's got that damage. Hit the barrier, I think, the perfect opportunity. You're right, lucky to still be in, considering that would have taken off the front tyre. Front left. Here's the replay.
Look in the background. Just goes. Literally just flies off. And my word, what a moment. A moment that you don't expect. Something's definitely gone wrong there. And here's a shape. Well, that's the closest he's been. That's the closest Carrero has been to the move. Talking about the move, here we go. We are possibly going to get a move. Tomasetto trying to get by, these two following each other closely for so long in the contest. Nearly making contact in the opening few turns. They get away with it. Carlos stays ahead.
Brilliantly held as well from Carlos round the outside of the first corner. Perfect defensive line. And that was almost Raikkonen and Fischer-Keller-esque back here a couple of years ago. That was brilliantly done. But right now, how much are you keeping your tyres alive? That's going to be the factor. We do have to have a pit stop at some point. See mediums at the front here. But I don't know if we'll go back. It just backing up so much now that we've got the top 4 all within inside a second of each other with the interval times, as you see on your monitor. They've got 4 seconds to Thomas Laminen as well to come through. But look at the positions at the start, though. Laminen up 2 places, but only 1 and 1 for Jensen and Lucas, and they're all still trying to break that slipstream toe. But the top 2 only stays exactly where they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And biggest gainer being Lumi and biggest loser being Janssen in that scenario. Here's your tyre compound that we find ourselves with. A bit of a split. You've got your top 4 on the mediums, and then we've got 5th all the way down until 8th on those tyres as well. We've got some we've got a bit of a battle possibly forming up for the lead. Oh my word, every time we get down there it is so close. Lumi though, up against Tomasato, might be a bit of a closer battle to keep an eye on, because I think they're side by side. Meanwhile, Nail's also been able to find a way through. Rev's lost a couple of places, and we've got cars that are absolutely everywhere on this circuit as they exchange positions on lap number 7.
So Tomasato gets ahead of Tristan this time as well. Carlos and Lumi still battling, but White and Rev just sort of hanging around at the back. Van Winston has come, I believe, now into, well, he's going to into pit lane now? Yes, he is, I believe. I won't tell on our monitor just yet if he's in there yet. But with that damaged front wing, he's pitted and he's changed his front wing as well coming into it. So his 36-second lap is going to be very much hoping he can capitalise on a safety car to get back into this race, because that's his day done, unfortunately. But with only 13, Omi, it's unlikely we'll see the full safety car.
Absolutely, absolutely. Not a high chance of that. We've had a few safety cars, but the chance of it is quite low. We don't tend to see it as much on this game. You'd only really see it. Sometimes we don't even get it when there's a car in the wall.
It's like now.
Yeah, we have got a car in the wall. Rev finding himself losing the front wing. You can see it there to the right-hand side of screen, trying to get it pointing back in the right direction, and he does.
Is it virtual safety car? Because into the pit, we've got full track yellow. It is virtual safety car. And I believe that's put our leader in. Sarah's boxed. It's quite hard to know who's coming to the pit lane. Virtual safety car is out then. So commentators curse between us as we get Rev in the wall backing it out. So it's the safety car that we didn't want, the virtual version. So into the pit lane. So Laminen's gone up. Rev's got a 10-second penalty. Presumably he's going to retire in the pits, and he has done so. So Tristan Jansen's in the pits. Thomas Santala's in the pits. White's in the pits. But why, all of a sudden, Omi, under this virtual safety car, is Abe's gap to Laminen 4 seconds? And we have had pit stops coming in now. Hard tyre compounds for several of the drivers, but I can't see on my timing screen where everybody else has gone. Cavalo's going to 6th position with a stop. Rosen in 7th, Sarah 8th, Jansen 9th, Tomasato 10th, White 11th, and Van Winston 11th, sorry, 12th, I should say. But the top haven't pitted. That's disastrous. We go back to green flag running, because I don't think Abe's going to be in a place now, Omi, where he can stop without losing advantage to those who've got a free virtual safety car pit stop. Yeah,
the timing of that was quite critical, and unfortunately not going the way of Gobadi there, as the remaining drivers in the field make their way through. And we are currently taking a look at our race leader, but that's going to change things in a dramatic way as they will continue on then with the racing. Luckily no one got a speeding penalty when it came to the virtual safety car, which we have seen as well dished out by the game in the past. Depending on your delta, everyone behaved that time by, luckily, and that's a good thing, because it's quite a costly penalty as well. So lap 9 out of 27 in this contest, which has seen half the field have pit stops, and then the other half continuing on. So we've got quite a mixed race, and we've got quite a strategy race, which is what we can find ourselves with a lot of the time here at Suzuka, but we've had some great wheel-to-wheel action to go with it.
Wheel to wheel has been absolutely fantastic so far today. Now we've got the first pit stop window opening up, which is going to be those on the hard tyres are going to go longer into this race to try and make it work out for them. And that virtual safety car would have spooked them, because if they thought it was the full safety car for a few moments, that would have wrecked their strategy, because everyone would have been able to box harder compound tyres, softest for everyone else, and then they're all just done to the end of it. But what I'm worried about is our champion. Is Gobadi in a position now where it could work out, depending on the medium tyres, for 2-3 more laps longer? Or is this now he's going to drop down the field later on? it's a 50-50 gamble by not pitting. Right, let's have a look then at Jensen Rosen, who's running in 7th position. He's got Alexei Kavar just ahead of him, Lucas Serra behind, but closing down, and they are lapping faster than the race leader as things currently stand as well. As we take a look with Carlos, Lumi, and Nell as well over the line for 2nd, 3rd, 4th positions and 5th.
Indeed. So we continue to make our way through this race. Of course, will find itself coming alive later on when we see the two strategies meet in the middle. We will hope. Tomasetto has now set the fastest lap of 1 minute 28.967, as you can see on the top of screen as they make their way through at the moment. A race which has, of course, seen some great side-by-side, some great brinkmanship moments, and the drivers now will be taking a bit of a step back from that, now biding themselves into their strategies and then go again. So expect a bit of a lull over the next few laps. It's exactly what we're seeing right now, but it's going to be a race that will absolutely come alive later on.
It is going to be, and so stay with us, and if you have a kettle in your room, pop it on as they fly in, with Carlos holding back at 6/10 advantage at the moment as well. Thomas Lamina, by the way, the gap 4.427, now 4.4. It's still fluctuating between that at the moment. 4.5. So I think those medium compounds still have a bit of give in them for some faster runs. Down into the Casio triangle. DRS will be active for Carlos. Now, are we going to see even Lumi's going to have the advantage here? So, unfortunately, if I was Tomas, I would be feeling very, very, very vulnerable. Down to turn 1. Used all that ERS, I think, Omi, as well, to just try and lose it out of there. They did not want to give the advantage up.
Absolutely, as they will now just bide their time in this DRS lane. You don't want to be battling. That's the important thing to consider. You don't want to be battling as well. You've got to make sure that you, as a group, don't lose any time. You've got to be cautious with how much you battle, because remember, if you are to battle, then you are going to be hurting absolutely everyone's races around you, including yourself. So we've found ourselves in a situation as we see Sarah make a move on Rosen. I think that might be a moment even for Rosen. It is a moment, and that is on the exit of Degner 2 as he continues on. But yes, as I was saying, if you find yourself losing time, then you cost each other as much as your rivals. That'll happen later on, but you've got to keep each other in the battle once those pit stops take place.
Yep, you've got to sort of walk the fine line between, yes, we are in a battle, but help. Don't screw me over here. Don't do anything wrong. As we now run with Thomas. Race leader into the pit lane. Now, this will give the harder tyres the longer strategy runs of Thomas Laminen with Carlos and Lumi 1, 2, 3. But into the pit lane comes our champion with GoBaddy. He'll have to go to hard tyres. The question is, will he come out ahead? Well, Cobra's gone through, Sarah's gone through, and, well, Rosen's needing to box anyway. So he's going to come out behind the leading pack. So staying out longer and not pitting under the virtual safety car has cost him a lot.
Absolutely. But now you can expect some attacking driving. You can expect some overtaking. So this is going to be entertainment, definitely, for all of us watching on. Let us know in the live chat your thoughts on our qualifying that we had earlier on, including as well the opening first half of this race, a race which has had plenty of talking points. So let us know what you've made of it so far, as we see a three-way fight in terms of the drivers who continue on at the moment with their races, and it's going to be GoBaddy. Keep an eye on him when it comes to overtaking.
Battle 1, 2, and 3 here in Japan. So Laminen has got no DRS. He was already struggling to keep Carlos and Lumi behind as they fly through. There's a train forming for 9, 10, and 11, 9 and 10, that's forming in. 8, 9, and 10, look at the timing screen, starting to form into each other as well. So unfortunately, as well, for Jensen Rosen, he's on his own. He's got no one in front, no one behind, so he's not going to catch up anytime soon. Antoine over the line. What are we going to see? Laminen's got no DRS. Carl's going to use all his ERS. And Lumi, I think, is just happy to stay in third position. He's going to play the long game here. Only a couple of weeks in Formula 3 after stepping up from Formula 5. And this is just brilliant stuff as we now see the Ferrari as well, Levave, trying to carve his way back through the field. And he's got Janssen just ahead.
Absolutely. Let's see whether he's going to wait, GoBaddy, through the rest of the lap and wait for the chance next time by. But he is a champion for the reason. He has nothing to lose anymore. He's won the championship. He can have a bit of fun in the final 2 races. That's the luxury of dominating this championship to such an extent that you arrive into the final 2 rounds just there for fun, just there to continue your domination that you have had across this season, and it has been some domination by the Ferrari man. Now, time to see him do some overtaking as well out there on the circuit, which is not always a sight that we get to see from GoBaddy, but it is one that we will absolutely enjoy at the moment. Ferrari versus Red Bull. How many times have we said that before as we go through Spoon Curve? And then what form of battery do you have? Meanwhile, that's a change in position. Cavero has got past Noel Guyot. Easy pass into 130R as well. And we could possibly see a change in a few moments' time. JB, there could be a chance for Guyot to fight back if he wants to with the DRS and some battery.
Yeah, let's have a look. He's got a full battery. He's got the DRS shortly. He's deploying both down the straight towards turn 1. It's just not long enough to make that gamble of throwing it into the first corner. But now, look, with Ave, can he get it through on Tristan into the first corner? Oh, he thought about it. He's taking it mega late. Oh, that was super close to running that Ferrari up the back of the Red Bull. And judging on previous performances, it will be the fastest both cars have gone in a while. But this is still mega improvement. And through the S's section now, Ave had a chance there, but now he's stuck behind the Matsuomi for another lap. Unless he tries your tactic of going through at the hairpin.
Yeah, absolutely. A great tactic to see a bit of battling. So let's see whether we can do it. Sends it through Degna 1, sends it through Degna 2. Bit of a wiggle as he got on the power. Will be a bit too far back unless it is the latest lunge we've ever seen this season. And he does think better of it, but you can tell that he is our champion with the way he's approaching this. He is sending it into every corner, definitely getting us at the edge of our seats as well at the moment as we go into Spoon Curve. Great to see these two going at it, two very quick drivers. This is that moment where all of these drivers getting to battle up against our champion who's been so dominant, and it is great to get one up on your racing. Well, we're absolutely expecting GoBaddy to move up to tier 2 and become a great contender there. Really looking forward to seeing what he can do next season in season 22. Right now though on the circuit, is he going to finally be able to use the battery for an overtake into turn 1, JB?
Surely an outside. Stay to the outside. Don't go to the inside. Oh, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's trying to sell a dummy. The outside is the better momentum to loop it through, but it's brilliant defense from Janssen as well. Into the first corner. He's stuck behind again now, coming through the S's. And we've got Tambo Sato just ahead, which is giving Janssen that DRS, and it's just not helping at all. Still the battle for the lead coming up there with Laminen. Following in with Carlos and Lumi, 1, 2, 3, as they are into the action. As we'll go now through the field, Omi. Race leader for Laminem, trying to hold off at the front without the use of DRS, burning up his hard compound tyres and looking strong.
Yeah, absolutely. At the same time, GoBaddy has made the overtake. We'll get to him in a second. But Laminin doing a great job. So is Galindo, our top 2 at the moment. Lumi running in 3rd. And there you can see Carrero arriving on the scene as well as our top 4 make their way through. But it is Gio who finds himself in 5th, recovering after what was a tricky qualifying session. Then we find ourselves with Sarah, Rosen, and then in 8th position, Tomasetto as well. So those drivers have been having an interesting race. And JB, an interesting move finally came in for GoBaddy a few moments ago. He's taken P9.
And he might be back on him as Jansen's going to go on the inside. They make contact and they just about avoid spinning the pair of them there as well as Carlos comes into the pit lane, and that promotes Lumi back to 2nd. But that was almost day over for our champion of this season. And I think as well, he makes his way back up to 8th position, but Tristan was just too hot on his heels there.
Absolutely wild stuff. Well, GoBaddy made the move. Janssen thought that there was a chance to fight back into the Casio triangle. He went for it, and they connected at the apex, but luckily GoBaddy got away with it.
There's the replay, just too late, but well held from the pair of them, actually, I'd say, Omi.
Yep, well held indeed, as they made their way through, and Janssen now gets a 3-second time penalty. That is for track limits, unfortunately, to his name. Not what he would have wanted at all, as we get the yellow flag flung, and I think that is Janssen who's possibly had a moment. There he is in the Red Bull.
Yep, gone wide at the exit as White goes through for 9th position. Just a little run up at the hairpin. Here's Lumi, though, with Kavara closing in behind him for 3rd position. The Red Bull going to try and have an attack through. Down on the brakes. Nothing into the braking zone here, though, chaps.
Yep, nothing at the moment. But what about on the exit, on the way through? Okay, we get Laminin coming into the pit lane, leaves the road open, leaves the door open, and now Carrero going tight to the inside line. Would have been a risk, and he backs out of that one. It is still Lumi, P1.
Laminen's into the pit lane, though, so that is why we're now watching the battle for the lead as... Oh, safety car! Safety car is out! Now, what has caused this? Because we've got nobody missing on the circuit with... Oh, don't tell me it was Van Winton who went off the circuit and triggered that. I don't think it was, but safety car's out. Golden opportunity then as Janssen comes in to stop. New front wing going on for him. Safety car's letting the lap cars go through to pick up the leader. But this is perfect for Lumi, who has yet to stop.
Has to be someone who's lost their front wing as well. It has to be someone who has lost their front wing. You can see the drivers have made pit stops. And the drivers who haven't, I guess that's easy to go through. Lumi and Guyot as well, 1st and 4th. Perfect opportunity for them to come in what could be a changing moment in this race. But yes, we get a virtual safety car, we get a safety car, all in this one race in 17 laps. Extraordinary stuff. And now we've got a restart. That is going to be incoming. Incredible.
Very good point. And Lumi's going to box. You don't lose that much time under the safety car here. So that's going to put him around about, well, behind Jensen. 10 to go. Would you put the softs on? Omi, help me out here. Do we have to put, are we mandated hard medium or can we put softs on? Because if I was Lumi, I'd bolt those on. Soft you can. I'll bolt softs on. Would you go?
Yeah, you would put the softs on, definitely on last year's game. On this game, I guess the engineers and drivers will be discussing it. Can the softs do the distance? Because on this game, the softs have been weird. Around some circuits, you don't even want to put it on for one lap. So there's a bit of a difference. So we've got mediums going for Lumi. So that's what I'm saying in terms of you don't want to put it on at some point. Even for a lap. Even for a lap, it might be wrong. Sarah's gone for soft, so it's a bit of a split. That's why I'm saying that it's engineer and driver discussion. Soft may work. We've got a hard being put on. We've got a medium being put on. We've got all three being put on.
Look at the race leader. It's back to go batty, but he stayed on his hard compound tyre. That is a major gamble. I don't think that one's going to work because everyone behind him is on brand new rubber, which is faster. And my money now looks to Lucas Serra.
Extraordinary. But do the soft tyres work the distance? That's the thing, because in this game, I mean, you would expect it with the remaining laps. You'd usually say that they are going to work. They are going to get him to the win. But in this game, we've had some very weird scenarios. We have different tyres not working. Soft, there's been some circuits where it's completely ruled out. You don't even want to be on it for a single lap. So with the soft, it's quite an interesting story. Considering most of the field haven't gone for the soft, it does tell me that it's more of a gamble coming from Lucas Serra. A gamble that could pay off, but it's going to be fascinating to see. But most have gone for the mediums. Lumi, look at that. 10 places he's gone up. What a day he's having. This virtual safety car, then the safety car. 2 different instances, flipping the race on its head. And now the safety car's completely changed things. We're going to be in for such a fascinating restart, everybody. Make sure you stick with this one. It's all about to go quite crazy near the end.
Lumi's had 2 victories in this season. of WR when he was in Tier 5. He won in Spain and in Belgium, finished second in America, and in the season opener he was fourth in Australia. But out of the races he did there, he was very, very, very strong. He was the championship leader for a long time. Coming into the remainder of this season as well, further down the field, he's had 2 8th place finishes, both at Silverstone and Emilia Romagna, Omi. So this is looking strong. He could be on for a first win in Tier 3. And don't forget, he went from Tier 5 straight to Tier 3.
Absolutely, what a special moment it could be for him. We have 2 drivers who have been a class of their original tier across this season. Now, Gobadi, of course, he's mastered Tier 3. Lumi absolutely mastered Tier 5. They both find themselves together at this phase of the season. Penultimate round of the season. Remember, we'll be heading over to Abu Dhabi next time out. It's going to be so exciting to see what's going to take place around that venue. But here we go. This one is going to go all the way till the end. Could be one of our best races of the season. Could be one of our best finishes. I am certain of that. Because on this game, we found ourselves with a situation where overtaking has been tricky. Drivers haven't been able to use the battery to their advantage because the dirty air is so much that the slipstream isn't enough. Nothing is enough to make some moves. So a lot of the time we have seen races that have been decided quite easily. But this one could be, I think, one that goes to the end just due to the differences that we've got in strategy and everyone basically put together for these final stages. So it's all about to happen here at Suzuka.
It will be a sprint to the end of this race. The safety car hopefully will be called in at the end of this lap. The field is all bunched back together. A brilliant news for Van Winsen as well. He's now gained back to this train of cars. Bad news for Tristan Janssen, who is going to lose out massively with this penalty. The lights are out, I believe, on the safety car, and it will be coming in this time by. So now Gobadi will take the lead of the race. He becomes the control car. Lumi behind him, Omi, and they are all bunching up and nearly running into each other coming into the 130R. It almost looks 2x2, the restart that we saw yesterday with Max Verstappen in Baku levels as we head down for the restart. This is going to be very interesting indeed. When is he going to hit the gap, Omi?
Yeah, waiting at the moment, isn't he? Great camera angle to show you the field making their way downhill and about to go on the attack there. And he's waiting. He's our champion for a reason. He knows exactly what he's doing. And you can see Lumi already alongside, and he's been able to catch Lumi out there. We go back to the green flags. Our champion leading the way, and immediately Cavero looking left, looking right. He's going to go to the outside line into turn 1. The Red Bull driver trying to go the long way round. They collide at the apex. They make their way through. Lumi in second, and Gobadi's trying to sprint clear.
So I got caught out there by looking at the top of the monitor. That was fantastic from Lumi to take second position, as well with Cavara taking third. But how close was Cavara going off the circuit, Omi, as well? He nearly lost the rear coming through turn 1. It's why I was looking at the time and not to go caught out by that glitch with the safety car that still needs to be fixed. But still, fabulous run. He almost lost it. Millimeters. And how has Lucas Sira not gained a place on that restart? He was so fast down to turn 1, and look at that, Lumi's locking up, almost running into the back of Gobadi at the hairpin. They're all running together. Watch out for Tomasetto as well, right behind Carlos, looking in for some traction.
All happening then in the final stages, lap 20 out of 27. Can they put the pressure on our race leader, Gobadi? There could be a chance for Lumi to try and make the move down this straight towards 130R, and then of course into the Casio Triangle. That'll be the big opportunity. 3 cars not separated by anything. We've got a snake of the slipstream making their way down into 130R. Watch Cavero, he could have a chance. He will look to the outside line, no way through, and then they'll make their way through this chicane, and then there could be a chance down the start finish straight. Gobadi not with the best of exits, so there could be possibly a chance for a change of lead to come. Lumi's got the slipstream.
Yep, no DRS yet, remember, so this is all on ERS, battery power as well. He's going to pull to the outside line, tries to do the dummy towards turn 1, and he sees him! Round goes the champion! Lumi takes the lead, but surely we'll get a penalty for that. Gobadi plummages down the field, and now it's going to be Cavara who inherits the net lead of this race.
Absolutely wild stuff as they fought for the win, and unfortunately that is GoBaddy's chance, a realistic chance gone. I mean, he's somehow still finding himself in the scenario. Well, a lot has happened since this happened, this restart, and they were absolutely fighting their way through. Meanwhile, this was the moment where the contact was made. Absolutely wild stuff, and that was always going to happen with the pinch point that you always get here at turn 1 and into turn 2 here at Suzuka as they make their way through. Galindo side by side, watch him in the background, he's going to try and get through. I think he's ahead of Tomasetto, and he looks like has been able to take the place. P4.
So down we go then through. Lumi still holding it with Cavaro trying in the slipstream. We got DRS enabled this time by as well, as they are still nose to nose coming through. Cavaro round the outside into the Casio triangle. Lumi locks. The goal is a bit too deep. Now watch for Lucas Serra to get with the DRS train. Down to turn 1. It's going to be something else as we pull in the slipstream. 3 into 1 doesn't go. Who's the first to blink? Lumi's a sitting duck. Cavaro takes the lead.
Brilliant stuff from Carrera, hits the front of this penultimate round of the WOR season. He now leads the way for Red Bull, and now it's going to be Lumi, the chaser, in this battle. Back to the second place where he found himself on the restart, and now can he stick with his racing rival through the challenging turns of Suzuka to go on the attack later on and to use the DRS to pounce his way back. But what a dramatic moment that was. What a great move it was, as it was going to be toe-to-toe, wheel-to-wheel, and it was Carrero who came out on top, pulled to the outside line, and was ahead by the time they got down to turn 1.
Yeah, really surprised that Lucas didn't try to capitalise on that through turn 1 as well. He had so much momentum with the DRS as well. Look at Nels, though, going a little bit wide, and that's White having no traction, and Van Winter going to sail around the outside of him. He just about... Oh, and Tristan Janssen goes through, so White's dropped down all the way to 12th position now.
He has indeed. So that is all taking place then. So much going on in the circuit to try and keep on top of. Meanwhile, GoBaddy looking to try defend from Niall Guyot as well as they make their way through and continue to battle. 4/10 in it, by the way, in the battle for the win. In my word, that's late on the break from Tomasetto, and it was always going to be contact, as that was from downtown so late. And unfortunately, he's going to lose out. But yeah, that was a huge risk. I think he just misjudged his braking point down there. As meanwhile, also, Guyot's got the chance to try and make the move. Forces a defensive move from GoBaddy. Guyot round the outside into the first turn. That is brave from the driver who's come over from console. And it's going to be still side by side into the S section. Who's going to blink? It'll be the Ferrari. Guyot gets ahead.
That was spectacular from a console player to PC. Fabulous move. He kept his foot in it and he would not give up. I was going in my mind to say, yeah, keep your foot in it because he's got the inside line now. You've got this one. And it was perfect. Oh, we are being treated to some absolutely classic racing right now. Foot to the floor action indeed. Lap 23 of 27.
So,
let's
go to a replay. Yeah, let's go to a replay of the contact that we had. Yeah, just so late on the brakes. He kind of brakes late and then just has to commit for the move and hope for the best. Unfortunately, it doesn't end in the best way. I think JB is the best way of putting that one. Unfortunate stuff. As we go back to the story of the battle for the lead, these two now pulling clear, 1.2 seconds behind to Lucas Serra, who's got the soft tyres. Maybe the soft tyres we were mentioning, whether they were going to be good, whether they weren't. It looks like he might be holding the pack up behind now.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about Lumi because if he does win this race and gets a post-race penalty, I don't want to bring into it that's happened. It's coming into the Abu Dhabi weekend. But yeah, unfortunately for Tomasetto, came in on the bullet train from downtown Tokyo into the Casio Triangle and forgot that you've got to hold the bar when it comes to a stop, because he just went flying into the side as GoBaddy and Janssen battling over 9th and 10th position. Janssen has got ahead with said DRS, so GoBaddy's down into 10th place. Right now, though, Lumi's Fortes. But there's Janssen ahead, so unfortunately our champion was having a wonderful day, and it's all gone a bit gloomy because of Lumi.
Absolutely. All gone a little bit wrong. All gone a little bit wrong as well as we make our way into the final stages. Lap 24 out of 27. And we've got a great fight at the front. We've got a great fight in the mid-pack. It is all taking place out there on the circuit as well. And we now find ourselves with Gobadi looking to try and pick up any pieces he can from today's contest.
Should I go now after that comment or not? Honestly, if we had Comcom open there, you could just see Omi's soul leave the commentary box as we were saying that. Anyway, we still keep following. Jansen's going to have to hold against Gobadi now because he'll have DRS advantage back towards turn 1. Here's our battle for the lead. Kavar with Lumi. That's going to be tight as we come into braking zone because Lucas Serra is under attack from Carlos and Thomas Lamanen. Well, to be fair, for Lucas Serra on the soft tyres, Omi, it's about to be a massacre. Round the outside goes Carlos down to turn 1, and here comes everybody else for a freebie.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing you can do at the moment, and it is turning into a bit of a horror show. Galindo up to 3rd, Laminin up to 4th, and then surely Rosen's going to be trying to follow through as well up to P5, and the soft tyre gamble. Well, I mean, he went different to everyone else. He hoped it would work out, but this is just one of those circuits where those softs don't provide anything for you. And really, it didn't even give him the initial jump, which you would expect as well to usually come into play. And he got absolutely swallowed down this straight. 2 cars got through. It was very nearly 3. And I'm sure that 3rd car, the Aston Martin, will be able to find their way through very, very shortly as well.
Yep, that was literally the Aston Martin, though, back in live picture, is going to get a great run through the 200R as you head down towards Spoon Curve. Now, it's not usually an overtaking opportunity, but if you can get the outside traction, maybe that's something to dial in towards the 130R. We haven't had a move through the 130R. That would be quite nice to see in esports. We've had a move done before the braking zone, Amy, but not since.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always been before, but now, as everything just gets a little bit more competitive, could we see exactly that? Definitely into the Casio triangle, because we are side by side at the moment. We were expecting Sarah to be losing out, and it is slightly harder than Rosa would have wanted, and may that open the door for Thomas Serta, who may have had contact earlier on, but all of this squabbling is making it 3 wide, down the straight, and they're going to be moving through just about white, getting himself a penalty, and Thomas Serta still got the inside line, and he's got the place.
Brilliant, but look at this, because he's still going to try and send it round the outside. Not going to work out there, I'm afraid. Jensen, can Lucas find anything through? Up, he's looking for it, though, into the top of Dunlop Curve towards the Degners. No, nothing there, I'm afraid. This is absolutely fabulous running. Watch this. Slipstream 1, Slipstream 2, send on the outside, but Thomas, brilliant. I have never seen anything like it. We've got Steel side by side in the live picture just alongside because the Alpine's making the move through as well. But that was ballsy, Omi, from the McLaren.
Yeah, absolutely. That was extraordinary as they made their way through. And, well, we could be seeing some more of that because we're about to head to the final lap of the race. It is all going to come down to this. It is all going to be on the line now. And I know the battle for the win, it may have been quiet. We may have not mentioned it for the last few laps, but it's all about to get interesting as we're about to head on to the 27th and final tour around this Suzuka circuit. Not your only battle. You've got, of course, one for 3rd. So much to bring you on this last tour. Good exit for Lumi. Can he go all in? A driver who's found himself promoted from F5 after dominating that level up to F3, up to the back of Carrero. Final lap of the race, closing in. It's going to be 2 tenths. It's going to be car lengths, but it won't be close enough. Into turn 2.
He's just trail brake, let it off completely and just hoped that the momentum would keep him through the S's. The gap 0.3 of a second now, but Cabrera should have this one completely racked up. There's no other opportunities on the track that I can see Lumi going for it before the checkered flag moment. So it's all down to Cabrera just keeping it on the black stuff and not making mistakes. But Degner 1 and Degner 2, the hardest points on the track where you can just fly off the circuit, as we've seen tonight. But he's made it through. White, however, on that soft compound tyre will get the fastest lap, 1:28.577. Into the hairpin we go, and it's still close together because Caval's got a little bit wide. Lumi took the tighter exit as he comes through the 200R towards Spoon Curve. Bring it home, Omi, because this is going to be an epic end to this race. The only opportunity now, the 130R, the Casio Triangle.
Both drivers chasing their first victory of the campaign. It looked like a good exit for Cavero. Does Lumi have enough battery to try dump 510? He surely won't catch him from there, as Jansen's also made a move further back. But here we go, down towards the 130R. Lumi is going to be trying to get close, but he won't be able to do anything unless there is going to be a mistake into the final corner for Aleski Cavero. He's had a third, he's had a second, and now he's going to go to the top step for the first time this season. It'll be Cavero who comes across the line to win at Suzuka, and he beats home Lumi, who is in second. He misses out by 0.5 of a second, and it's disappointment at this part of the circuit once again for Tomasato, who is dropping down to 11th, and the podium was completed by Galindo. Action all the way till the end.
And there was drama at the back with Tomasetto going off the circuit as well. Now it says that he's retired on the circuit for the checkered flag moment. But Gobadi received a time penalty unserved. So we'll see if that gets rescinded after this one. But nobody can take away. We know Lumi will probably end up with a post-race penalty from the stewards. But for Camaro, no one can take that away. A beautiful drive, a beautiful strategy throughout. He gets his first win of the campaign. And it's come at the right time to win at Suzuka. Really put yourself on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lumi also saying in our tier chat as well that it was on him. So yes, we called it absolutely right at the moment. Unfortunate stuff. It was a bit of a risk for Lumi and it didn't pay off, and he's taken blame. And that's exactly what we want to see, JB. A driver admitting that it was their fault after a moment which completely ruined Gobadi's race.
Yep, I like the fact that the driver's got, no, my fault. It was my mistake. That's good news as the champagne time happens here in Suzuka. And I think a customary glass of champagne might be good. Well, let's see how it all lines up. Driver of the day comes to Lumi. That was good news, but here's the results, Amy.
Absolutely, what a drive from Cavero to take the win. Lumi should be getting a penalty, unfortunately, but provisional second. Galindo in third, and then it was Rosen, and then Guyot with a great performance for P5 after what was a struggle in qualifying. Then it was Yatsen along with Laminin, they were 6th and 7th, and then we found ourselves with Van Vincent, a few moments for him on the circuit. Then it was Gobadi and Sarah completing our top 10, and then it was White. Tomasato had issues all the way till the end, and then it was Rev and Christian retired in the early stages, which feel like long ago after what we just witnessed, after what we just saw. That was ridiculous.
And breathe. Just taking it all in. That was quite something, wasn't it? Brilliant race, as it always is here in Suzuka. I can't think of a weekend where we come here and leave going, well, that was boring, wasn't it? Every time we have eSport racing is fantastic news as well.
It really is, as we are going to now take a look at replay in a few moments time as well of what happened at the restart. Now, we tried to bring you this earlier on, but there was so much going on out there on the circuit. So we're actually going to get a look at it right now as well. So we had Gobadi, full screen by the way, this is a replay. He was preparing to go, he finally went, and he catched everyone else out behind, JB.
Yeah, so Lumi goes towards the pit wall to defend, and then we've got Cavard going around the outside. It completely blocks Carlos. And then just at the exit here, you see there was a little tap from Lumi at the exit that was just snapping on him. All drama further back as Niall was just going all sent round. So a nice controlled restart there, I'd say, Omi. But slightly weird that we had that sort of half spin round at turn one. It was quite unusual for the action to lose that much, but I liked it. It was a great race. It was a stronger performance I think we've seen for tonight, and even though we've got a champion crowned, new winners at the front of the field going into the last race in Abu Dhabi means it's going to be one to watch for sure. That was spectacular in my book.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been an extraordinary race here at Suzuka as well. Doesn't look like we have anyone waiting in the waiting room. So that'll really be it from our broadcast. What an extraordinary contest. JB, I know you've kind of given your final thoughts as well, but I think we have a lot to look forward to when it comes to Abu Dhabi for all of the viewers.
We really do, and please do join us for that in a week's time, because it's going to be fantastic action. We hope that your regular commentators will be back next week. But Omi, it's been a pleasure to step in alongside you and all of our viewers here for Formula 3. But I mean, one more to go. It's going to be a lot to look forward to, a lot of action, and I hope you guys have as well back at home have enjoyed what you've witnessed tonight as well. We've done I hope, a cracking job, and I want to thank our producer as well behind the scenes who's kept us all on air tonight and giving us brilliant amount of information to come through. We might have an interview coming through. That's something in a second.
Yeah, hold on. You may just have to listen to us for a little bit longer. But luckily, it won't just be us. We're going to get some driver insight coming into play, everybody, from drivers who were fighting at the front, and I'm sure they have a lot. They have a lot to tell us as well. So, well, Jamie, you've got a little bit of talking to do. Looks like some of our contenders who were fighting away in that race. So this is going to be quite a lot of fun if we can get Galindo in to have a word. It looks like he was interested.
Our
So,
race
yeah.
winner's here with Kavar as well. So our race winner's going to be here as well with Alexi. Let's see if we get in. So unmute and see if we can drag in our race winner as well. Alexi, hello. It's JB up here in the comms box. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent! Your first victory! Fantastic out there! Great defense! Come on, how are you feeling? We want to know.
I feel amazing, bro. It's been a long time coming, this one, and yeah, it's amazing, this feeling.
Talk about that defense in the last couple of laps as well, because you had Lumi right behind you. A couple of times he just nerfed the back of you. What was going through your mind? Were you nervous trying to keep him behind, or do you feel completely confident that you could have the ability to sort of block him? With it being Suzuka, of course, a track very hard to overtake at.
Yeah, it was pretty 50-50. I noticed when I was behind him that I had the advantage on straight line speed, so I took that in, or kept that in mind all race after I passed him, and I just saved my battery and, you know, tried to manage the mistakes as well, trying not to make any mistakes on the important traction zones. But yeah, just focused on getting those exits, and that was enough to keep him behind. But yeah, the last few laps I can happily admit that I was pretty nervous, yeah.
I don't blame you. We were nervous up in the commentary box how close it was getting. You've gone 3, 2, and now 1 in just 3 races. That's massively impressive. What can you do in Abu Dhabi next week, and what are you looking forward to heading next season?
I'm hoping I can carry this momentum with me and maybe, you know, snatch a pole position or something, because qualifying is definitely not my strength. So I'll try to focus more on that on the next one. But yeah, I'll just try to keep the podium streak alive then. And for next season, of course, targeting full-time seat and maybe even championship fight with how things are going right now.
I think after that performance, you might just have it. Thank you very much, Alex, for joining us, and go celebrate that first win. That was fantastic driving.
Oh, I absolutely will. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm hearing loads of noise behind me in the commentary box, which is confusing me. Yeah. And Lumi's here. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
Well, you dominated in Formula 5, and now you are showing us exactly what you mean by how quick a driver you are in Formula 3. How did you find tonight?
Oh, it was good. I made a mistake at the end on Ave, which was unfortunate. But I felt like my pace was good. Safety car definitely helped me out, but yeah, it was a decent race.
One thing I like about you is that you admitted in the Discord chat with the drivers that it was all on you as well. You've apologised for it as well. True sportsmanship there to own up to the mistake. It just explains this. It was a simple error. You said you were having brake issues as well.
Yeah, I moved into university today, so I had to sort out brakes, and my brakes were in a different position to where they normally are compared to my wheel. So I was struggling on the brakes like all beforehand. So pretty happy to even finish it.
So going into Abu Dhabi, is it a track you like? Can you maybe still another surprise result? Maybe in a race victory. It's a circuit that promotes a bit more overtaking than Suzuka.
Yeah, I've had a league race last week there, and I had a really good pace. I was on for the win, so we'll see what I can do next week.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you very much, Lumi, as well. Go and celebrate your P2 as well. Hope you keep it as well on that monitor coming in. But yeah, we'll see you next week in Abu Dhabi. Take care.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Much appreciated.
Much appreciated. See you later, guys. Okay, so let's drag Carlos in to the booth as well and hear what he's got to say. Let's see if he's in a second. Carlos, hello, it's JB up in the comms box. Can you hear me, my friend?
Yeah.
What a race out there. How are you feeling as well? Because it was dramatic, exciting, and you've managed to nab a third place, which could be a second out there.
Yeah, happy because I was struggling a bit with pace today and I could hopefully bring some points and maybe try to stay between the championship, so happy with that result.
Now, no stranger to the podium this year as well. Third in Australia, second in Barcelona, and then again at Silverstone as well. But I know you're yet to pick up a race win this year. Just looking ahead to Abu Dhabi, is that a track you like? Do you vibe with it a lot?
Yeah, I think my pace should be okay, and if I put practice, I'm aiming for the win there 100% also.
And finally, just quickly talk to me about the restart as well, because you had some fantastic manoeuvres, dived left and right. Lumi sort of went backwards in the field. Just talk to me, how did you navigate that restart? Because everybody was everywhere.
Yeah, I was trying to stay behind and stay out of trouble and be saving a bit of ERS so I can overtake when other guys didn't have any and just defend the P3 on the last few laps.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Carlos. Great job for P3. Could be P2 afterwards as well. Your third best result of the season. Take care, my friend, and we'll see you in Abu Dhabi.
Thanks, mate.
Take care. Take care. Now... Okay, Jensen's coming up to the comms box as well. Also, a driver down at Aston Martin. Jensen, it's JB up in the comms box. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can I hear you?
Excellent. Hello, my friend. Well, it's fourth at the moment, but it might be a podium depending what happens with Lumi in the steward's room. Talk to me about your race. Some stunning manoeuvres. We were talking with you throughout it as well, but you had a moment off track early on as well down at Degner, if I'm not mistaken. Talk us to what happened there.
Yeah, so Degner 1, going into it, I just hit the curb at like the wrong angle or something. I didn't even use like that much. I used barely any curb, and it just sent me into the outside curb, and I skated over it and just went into the gravel, went into the wall. Yeah, it's just, this game is unbelievably inconsistent, especially around Japan with curbs, so it was just, yeah, I think a bit of bad luck. I mean, yeah, it's just like the angle I hit the curb at. It wasn't even like, it was just really weird, yeah. Which was unlucky, and then I got like a bit of damage off it, but my pace was still okay. But I think I got, yeah, pretty lucky with the safety car, otherwise I wouldn't have been in a very good position otherwise, but yeah, it's just unfortunate.
Now, just talk to me a little bit about that restart. You were one of the several drivers caught up in the massive three-wide manoeuvres everywhere. How did you navigate it as well? And of course, we had the tyre change that came at the right time for you.
Yeah, it was just about keeping my front wing on, really. Trying to, yeah, just not die again. And yeah, just managing the battery, keeping it high. And yeah, it's definitely a difficult track with overtaking, so you need that battery to make sure if you're... scraps where I could, basically. Yeah, it was just, I think, not going too aggressive, just pick off positions where I could, because I was already in a pretty bad spot, so just take what I could instead of, you know, risking a race. It was kind of pointless.
Well, Jensen, you've gone from 5th to 4th to 4th again in the races you've done. Could be a third place coming up. Could we see a second or even first in Abu Dhabi? What's the vibe with the track there that you like?
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed Abu Dhabi, so definitely potential to get at least the podium, I think. But yeah, it's not been a great run of form, I'll be honest, but just a lot of mistakes. I mean, even like quali today, it was an easy second, and then last corner just locked the rear brakes and all the time gains gone. So yeah, I like Abu Dhabi. I think it'll be an interesting one. Probably another quali track, like with all the tracks on the game, basically. Not a great track for racing because a lot of it's just tight corners. But yeah, it's one I've generally done well around. So yeah, hopefully can get a podium. Maybe win. We'll see. Just yeah.
Well, good luck to yourself, Jensen, as well, and we'll see you in a week's time at Abu Dhabi. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thanks for stepping up to the comms box as well, and that's all the drivers of stepped up. Thank you very much for coming into the booth and having a little bit of a natter about that amazing race we saw. Well, I think, Omi, as well, we are going to be in for something quite exciting coming into the last race of the year. Something a bit different, I think, in Abu Dhabi, and I hope we get to be here, but if not, your regular commentators will be back on the booth.
Yeah, absolutely. That was fantastic. 4 drivers we brought you, and them giving some great analysis as well on what took place. But I'd like to say an extra thanks to our producer JT, because all of that was possible thanks to him. As JB mentioned, hopefully Ryan and Epic should be back with you for the finale in Abu Dhabi next time out. But a huge thanks to JB as well, of course, for joining me up here in the commentary box. It has been an absolutely extraordinary race, and well, today has proven we may have a champion crowned, but everything is still to play for come Yas Marina. We are looking forward to seeing who's going to take the final victory of season 21. We hope to see you in Yas Marina. Until then, goodbye.